It's time for this week's weekly roundup video. As this week we have action from the FA Cup and La Liga. Let's roll right into it, starting with the FA Cup. There weren't many shocking results to it, as Manchester City played Championship side Rotherham. They scored 7 to win, 7-0, with Manchester City dominating throughout the match. Their goals came from Sterling, Foden, Jesus, Mahrez, Otamendi, and Sane, and another one of their goals came from an own goal. Tottenham Hotspur came to another roaring victory for a Premier League side over a Championship side in the FA Cup as they beat Tranmere 7-0, which is likely to be Heung-min Son's last match before going to the Asian Cup. I think it's interesting to see Tottenham. Recently they've been peaking when it comes to how many goals they score. They're surely peaking throughout the season. Offensively they've been great. Defensively they've been good. I mean, it's there for Tottenham. They're improving. And for Tottenham fans, they see signs that they've been improving. Goals came from Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, 2 from O'Rory, and 3 from Llorente. And with the way the FA Cup went at times, between these Premier League side and these Championship side, I feel that TV view coverage of these games should have been restricted, because it should only be available online on select sites, as this should be age restricted to 18 plus. Because winning 7-0 the way he did, they didn't just get that ass tactically. They didn't just destroy their opposition. They chased after them. They castrated them. They removed their manhoods. Like, these teams, honestly, watching this as a child could be traumatizing. Children should not be able to just go on TV and watch these games. These two games should definitely, no doubt, be age restricted somewhere online. Now to a normal match as two Premier League sides faced off. Coming off of a league loss, Liverpool would play Wolves in the FA Cup. LFC obviously had eyes on the upcoming Premier League fixture as they fielded a B team against Wolves. Wolves is a team that shocked in how well they've been performing in the league, and they were ready to continue that trend. The first goal of the match came from Jimenez in the 38th minute, giving Wolves the lead going into halftime. In the 55th, Urgi would level the scoring for Liverpool, only for Ruben Neves to score the winner a few minutes later for Wolves. As with the goals that occurred, Wolves won 2-1. Goals from Jimenez and Ruben Neves were enough to offset the goal from Origi. Despite losing, Liverpool did control possession as they had 61% of the ball. And another important fact for Liverpool, Dejan Lovren was subbed off 6 minutes into the match for a hamstring injury, as now Liverpool are without any of their main center backs. This is going to be very important. Liverpool's defense is very important. Van Dijk is very important to the team. And now since Lovren's out too, Liverpool's defense is going to be very shaky. And I think that's going to affect how they play the next few Premier League fixtures. Because, let's remember, their next match against Brighton, especially after losing to Wolves, is a must-win if they wish to continue their momentum and to not bottle the league and to win the league title over Manchester City, which would be a very hard thing to do. For the FA Cup, my opinion on the FA Cup as a competition in a whole, I think a country should not have two different league cups. There should not be a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup because they devalue each other. That's why teams like Liverpool put B teams out. That's why some teams field B teams into these tournaments. The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, we shouldn't have two. Most countries like Spain, they only have one. They only have the Copa del Rey in Spain. And that's how it should be, because with one, it adds value to it. But if you have more than one, no one will care about it. I mean, no one cares about the Carabao Cup. Not many people care about the FA Cup. I think there should only be one tournament because it makes cup competitions more serious in England. For Liverpool fans, there's two different ways you can look at it. One, we just got knocked out of another competition. Second way is FA Cup doesn't matter. We have to win the Premier League. We have to focus on the Premier League. And I'm sure there'll be a difference of opinion from amongst Liverpool fans on how they should have acted in that game. Should they have fielded a B team? Should they have gone for the win? But in the end, they didn't go for the win. They fielded a B team. Obviously, the B team tried their best, but it wasn't enough against this Wolves side. And remember, Jurgen Klopp has not won a single trophy with Liverpool. So I'm sure some Liverpool fans will be of the opinion that they should have gone for the win against the Wolves to attempt to win some kind of trophy this season. But obviously their main focus is on the Premier League and the Champions League. So I see why Jurgen Klopp decided to field a B team against Wolves and in the FA Cup. Next we have action from La Liga. In La Liga, second and third place faced off as Atletico played Sevilla away from home. It was a tight and entertaining affair. Both teams had their chances to score, with Sevilla having slightly more possession. Ben Yedder gave the host the lead in the 37th minute, but the lead wouldn't last long as 8 minutes later, French marksman Antoine Griezmann leveled the score. The match would end in a 1-1 draw, which is enough for Atletico to keep a hold of their second place position, but the difference between them and the league leaders increased as the league leaders went on to win, as you'll see later on. Now for Atletico Madrid, they're not going to win the league. They're not going to win the league. Saying factually, they won't win the league. Atletico Madrid, it's important for them to get top 4, obviously, for Champions League reasons, and I'm sure they want to be second. They believe they belong second. They don't want to be third. They don't want to be fourth, and I can understand that. But I feel Atletico Madrid are fighting a losing battle. For people hoping Atletico Madrid will win the league, I don't think they will. I think Atletico Madrid will keep pressure on Barcelona, but I don't think they'll be able to exceed Barcelona's performances this season. Next, Real Madrid played bottom half of the table side Real Sociedad, who were just appointed a new manager. Prior to the match, obviously their Club World Cup trophy was presented to the Santiago Bernabeu. You would think that this would be an easy match for Real Madrid. You'd expect under normal circumstances Real Madrid play a team like Real Sociedad. They'd get the win. Real Madrid should be winning these games. No excuses about it. Instead, 2 minutes in, Casemiro gave away a useless penalty, which William Jose made no mistake in converting. Real Madrid were behind 2 minutes. Now, you would think Real Madrid would be able to score at least a goal with the remaining 88 plus minutes in the match. But unfortunately for them, they were unable to score. Completely, they lacked that scoring touch. They were unable to score against Real Sociedad, which is a very piss poor performance. No doubts about it. Telling it like it is, Real Madrid's performances have been unacceptable for a team at that level. Continuing on, Lucas Vazquez was sent off in the 61st minute for a red card, and Pardo doubled the Real Sociedad's lead in the 83rd minute to make it a 2-0 win, to add insult to injury. Now, Real Madrid are declining, and they're declining fast. Coming off of winning 3 Champions League titles, now they're the first team to do so. They're declining fast now. The decline is so obvious. Results are not coming. They're 5th in Spain, of all places. They're 5th. A team like Real Madrid should be 1st or 2nd in the race, but they're 5th. And they just lost to a team that appointed a new manager. They've been taking L's to Levante. Took a massive L to Barcelona. They've been taking L's all over the place. They've been dishing out wins for other teams. Other teams no longer go and play Real Madrid hoping and praying they can get 1 point off. No. They go to Real Madrid to win. They go to Real Madrid to win, get all 3 points, close shop, and just leave. Now, I think the Real Madrid problem is very deep. I mean, this is not a simple problem to fix. Who to blame is a very big question. Firstly, we have coach who's won 3 Champions League titles in a row leave in the form of Zinedine Zidane. Now, he left for obvious reasons. I think he saw that this team was declining. Him leaving should have signaled that Real Madrid are in trouble without Zinedine Zidane. Then Cristiano Ronaldo also left, who would score 40 plus goals every season for Real Madrid. I mean, you can't replace that. You can't replace someone who scored over 40 goals for you every year, year in or year out. And also players like Ramos. I mean, how is the Real Madrid president allowing players to have so much power? How does Fiorentino Perez allow Ramos to say, "Oh no, we don't want him. We don't want that coach. We won't accept this coach. We won't accept this player." No. If he won't accept it, either he gets along with it or he gets out of the club. I mean, I'm tired of seeing Ramos have all the power in the team. The team should follow the manager. If we get a good manager, which we thought we had with Solari after he was appointed in the beginning, earlier on in the season, but unfortunately nothing's been working. Lopetegui failed. Solari failed. Everything has just been collapsing for Real Madrid, and for players to think that they can just boss around the team, that should not be allowed. You either get on with the match, get on with the season, get on with playing, or you get out. I mean, players are getting old. That's another thing. Real Madrid have made no major signings in the last few years. The only people they've been signing are youngsters, and who aren't ready to step up the way that bigger players are. They've made no major signings. Let's not forget that. All the players that were once great, they're getting old. Toni Kroos is getting old. Luka Modric is getting old. Casemiro is getting old. Marcelo is getting old. Ramos is getting old. Rafael Varane is getting old. The whole squad is getting old. Karim Benzema is getting old. Gareth Bale is beginning to get old. The whole squad as a whole is getting old. And now with the injury to Toni Kroos in the match, as he was injured, is going to be very detrimental to the Real Madrid season. I think the Real Madrid season is going down the drain. This season they got lucky as they were in the Club World Cup, which they won, so there's a piece of silverware for the season. But next season, if things continue, if nothing changes, they're not going to win anything. At this stage of the season in La Liga, they have 9 wins, 3 draws, and 6 losses. Form like that is unacceptable. A win rate of 50% in La Liga, Real Madrid should be very disappointed. And as a Real Madrid fan, I'm very disappointed at the way they've been playing. It's boring. Not only that, on the field, their run of play is boring. They used to be entertaining. Oh, you want to go watch Real Madrid's game? People wanted to tune into Real Madrid playing. Now, it's second rate. It's almost as if Real Madrid is a second rate team. And Champions League, we're not going to win that either. La Liga, we're not going to win that. The only competition where it's possible for us to win is Copa del Rey. And I think this team will still bottle that. And to see us struggling this much this season after winning the Champions League is surely it's a sad sight for any Real Madrid fan, and for the club as a whole. There's so many problems: managing, players, performances, transfers. There's a whole slew of problems in this team, and maybe like a disease, maybe if this had been caught earlier, maybe it would have been fixed, all the problems in the team. But no one wanted to do anything about it. We saw signs of struggling early on last season. Things didn't look very good, but they managed to turn it around for the remainder of that season. And I mean, had they caught on to the disease in Real Madrid, they could have fixed it earlier. They could have done something to fix it. But now Real Madrid are in a hole. They've dug themselves in a hole. They're going to have a terrible season, and likely will have a terrible or at least a bad season next year. Very disappointed. And with the transfers, they've been signing younger players that aren't at the capability to step up and play like players like Toni Kroos used to play, Luka Modric used to play, Karim Benzema at times, Marcelo. And as a whole, Real Madrid's performances are unacceptable, and Real Madrid, they're failing. Right now, they are failing. They're failing at what they do, and they're a disgrace to the emblem, and they're a disgrace to the white jersey that they wear. Next, on a lighter note, Barcelona went away to Getafe. All the action seemed to occur in the first half as Lionel Messi started things off with a goal in the 20th minute. Suarez doubled the lead in the 39th, and Mata would get one back for Getafe before the end of the half, but it would be no use. Barca dominated the match with 76% of the possession and led passing, 737 passes, 220. I feel like with the way Messi is playing, Barcelona will do great things this season. I mean, he's a great player. He's 31 years old. He's still putting performances in and out. He's having not just great games, amazing games. He's scoring multiple goals. He's assisting multiple goals. Not to mention that he scored a goal and got an assist in this game. Barcelona will have to do great things this season. I mean, I could see them winning the treble. I could see them winning the double. I mean, remember, they won the Spanish Supercopa earlier this season, meaning that they already have a piece of silverware. And I think they're going to win La Liga. I think they're going to win the Copa del Rey. And they're one of the favorites in the Champions League. I mean, let's not lie. It's possible Barcelona win everything available. Because, look at it. Competition for competition. They've already won the Supercopa. In La Liga, they are the definite favorites. Definitely, no doubt. In the Copa del Rey, they are definitely the favorites. And in the Champions League, they are one of the favorites. So it's possible to see them win these trophies. And with Messi playing like this, they're destined to do great things this season. And maybe he might be able to continue this run of form into the summer, where he'll be competing in the Copa America for his national team, Argentina. As things stand in La Liga, Barcelona are top with 40 points. Atletico Madrid are second with 35 points. Sevilla follow with 33 points. And Alaves fourth on 31 points, as they have leapfrogged Real Madrid. That'll be all for this week's video. Be sure to like and subscribe. It's Paperball rolling out.